Cyclone Fanatics, Chris Williams here. We're going to do a little video mailbag today. Don't normally do this, but a lot going on. Dan Beebe, that is, just wrapped up his teleconference with the media. Some other stuff going on as well. I'll give a little quick synopsis on what happened with that Dan Beebe teleconference here in a second. Thanks to Planet Sub bringing us this video today. Stop on in. All sorts of locations in Des Moines, also the one in Ames that I frequent a lot. Again, thanks to Planet Sub for being a big promoter of CycloneFanatic.com. We really appreciate that. Big news today from Dan Beebe's press conference. Texas Tech still is not committed to this new Big 12 conference. He does expect that to come later on today. Biggest news, I think, for Iowa State fans are two bits of information. The first, and I don't like this, but I guess what can you do about it? Iowa State, Missouri, Kansas State, and Baylor, the leftovers, supposedly have told Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M that you can have the buyout money from Colorado and Nebraska. I guess at the moment, and this is just from what I understood, they said, you know what, you guys are really the ones holding this conference together. You can save it. You can save us from potentially becoming a mid-major, so keep the money. $20 million is what is expected there. Again, there's a lot to still come out about that particular bit of information. That doesn't concern me as much as the news that there's still not an actual TV deal in place. That concerned me. And I know a lot of you are freaking out on the message board right now. I guess I don't blame you. But yesterday was such a great day. Last night, I had some cold ones. I had so much fun writing the Greatest Day column. It was really just a relief, I think, for a lot of people involved in Iowa State athletics that Armageddon per se didn't happen. Well, guys, you can go ahead and freak out. I don't know how much good it's going to do at this point. I see even some of you calling for Jamie Pollard and Gregory Joffrey's heads right now. Why'd you agree to this? There's a lot of stuff that happened behind closed doors that nobody knows about right now. We have no idea the actual numbers that were put in front of these guys with these prospective television contracts. I don't know. So my best bet, or not a bet, but my, I guess, advice would be, let's wait and see what Jamie Pollard has to say about this. Because I'm assuming he's going to talk. I don't know when, but he's got to at some point. I'm going to hold out my opinion until I hear from both sides. Because obviously Dan Beebe on a teleconference isn't going to, he's not going to pander to Iowa State fans. I think we all can admit that. Let's get to this video mailbag real quick. I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible. I'll have the actual mailbag coming up tomorrow. Clones21 writes, do you think we should keep 10 teams we have now or trying to expand to 12? What would be the pros and cons of both? I think basically personally I'd like to see it go to 12. I'd like to see you get a couple other northern schools and have the championship game. I like that. Basically because Iowa State's not in national title contention most of the time. So I love the idea of Iowa State going up against a Texas in a Big 12 championship game and having the opportunity to play spoiler. I would love to see this league expand into 12 teams, but Dan Beebe said today it's not going to happen. They do not plan on expanding at all. Go Cubs 21-18. How do you think Iowa State should be more prepared for this if the Big 12 gets rated again? It's a great question, and there's a really good chance that it could get rated again. I don't know. But and the reason I was so excited yesterday, this at the very least, buys Iowa State some time. I think that this expansion thing kind of snuck up on everybody. It did me. I remember when everything started and the blogosphere started exploding, I'm just thinking to myself, this is years away. A lot of relationships can be made. A lot of contacts can be made. Some conversations under the table. Well, how should Iowa State be more prepared? They're going to be. You think Iowa State, Kansas State, Baylor, and Missouri aren't going to have a little bit of a brotherhood developed through this, being the leftovers, whatnot, some of the things written about Iowa State and in those schools about how nobody wants you? You mean to tell me next time the Big 12 athletic directors have meetings, those 5 ADs aren't going to get together in private and discuss what are we going to do? Do we have a contingency plan if this happens again? I can guarantee you they will. I think everybody's going to be a lot more proactive because you see the writing on the wall. College athletics are changing every day now. It seems like even by the hour. So yeah, I think that they're going to be a lot more prepared next time this comes around. CloneFan32, everyone seems to concur that this is a great move financially. It would be hard to disagree with that, but there seems to be some disagreement amongst fanatics about what this means for Iowa State competitively. Given the fact that Nebraska and Colorado were both typically the two easiest conference basketball games, and Colorado was arguably one of the easier conference football games, do you think we could be competitive in this new league, or would we have been better off seeking out a league in which we had a better opportunity to regularly compete for conference championships? The answer is no, because, and this is the thing, a lot of people aren't thinking about this. I mean, if you're used to making, let's just throw the number out there, $7 million a year of television revenue, and all of a sudden they're going to tell you, wow, you're only going to make $1, $2, or $3 million a year. You realize the budgets. I mean, there's budgets. People are going to lose jobs. Can you afford to pay a Paul Rhodes? Can you afford to keep a Bill Finley? And who knows if those coaches even want to be there? I mean, think of the appeal for an Iowa State women's basketball player going on the road to Wyoming to play in front of 300 people. You don't have that appeal anymore. In the Big 12 Conference, you're going to be playing not in front of a sold-out arena, but the best attended women's basketball league in the country. And same with basketball for the men. I mean, is it really, I don't know, what's San Diego State get for attendance? I couldn't tell you. But to me, you're better off being in the Big 12, making a little bit more money, not a little bit, a lot more money, and you keep you can attract a high-level coach, you can attract a high-level athlete, you can recruit a high-level athlete. I think it's better off for everybody at Iowa State. You know, people could have lost their jobs had this thing not come through. That's the harsh reality. Programs could have been cut, sports could have been cut. That's why I was so passionate about keeping Iowa State in a position where they can make some money. Let's go to Pyro Psy. Do you feel that Iowa State fans need to buck up and accept the challenge of a harder schedule? What other choice do you have? You don't have a choice. Yeah, they do need to buck up. Everybody does, because it's not going to be easy with this 10-team league. You're talking about having to play Texas, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, A&M, Texas Tech on a yearly basis. It's going to be tough. And if you keep the Iowa game, you got 2 cupcakes a year. You got 2. So, yeah. But you know what? I'm convinced Paul Rhodes is a great football coach. I think he's going to... I actually think this maybe in a way helps recruiting, because you can tell all these kids from Texas, listen, you're going to ride the pine with them. You're not going to play maybe until you're a junior. You come up here and start. We're going to bring you back down here. You're going to play in front of your family all the time. Whereas in the past, it hasn't been that strong. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more tough. It's going to be tough to make a bowl game. Just being real with you. It's going to be very, very difficult to make a bowl game. But you know what? Ever since the day Jamie Pollard got on campus, he's talked about changing the culture. And I think the culture has really begun to swing. Now it's got to do it even more. Now you can't fear those schools. Yeah, you know, it's a completely uneven playing field between Iowa State and Texas, but what are you going to do about it? Buck up. You know, if you got an extra $20 coming in next month, increase your National Cyclone Club donation. Join the Gridiron Club. Do what you can. And I realize that that's not possible for everybody, and I totally respect that. But you have no choice but to embrace this challenge. Just my opinion. Clones85, we'll make it one extra question, he says. Give us your best emotional plea for Chipper. Stay with the Braves another 10 years. Point to Brett Favre as an example. A little bit of a difference, though. Clones85. Brett Favre is still like actually playing. Chipper's gone. I mean, he missed like 7 of the 11 games on the road trip. Man, I about shed a tear this morning when I saw that news. Chipper's my favorite athlete of all time, but it's probably time to hang up the cleats. Meinhardt for ISU writes, positive and negative with Nebraska and Colorado leaving for Fred. Speaking of Fred Hoiberg, I don't know what you can really say positive. Those are the 2 easiest wins on the schedule when it comes to men's basketball. Those are about 4 conference wins you can put in your pocket. Think of what Greg McDermott would have done during his tenure without those teams on his schedule. I don't even want to get into those statistics. The normal mailbag coming up tomorrow, but I wanted to touch on this stuff via video a little bit faster for me to do, and I'm pretty swamped today. So thanks for stopping by CycloneFanatic.com. We've had record days the past week. Please tell your friends, keep supporting this website. It really means a lot to us. Stop on into Planet Sub and tell them CycloneFanatic.com sent you.